I'm Emmeline.
I'm Kindy.
And welcome to Stuff with Moms, a podcast about shows, stories, and enjoying life.
Gotta change it up.
That was great. So, Kindy, how's your month been?
Oh man, I'm happy January's over. So every year our department has to send out 1099s before January 31st. And so we have to reconcile our clients' books and get the W-9s collected to then determine if their vendors that they pay for services needs a 1099 or not. I think 1099s are arbitrary because all it is telling the government and the person that you paid services for how much you paid for them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's only like $600 or more. So does that mean that like if you don't report all of your income off of those 1099s, you're off by like $1,200 because you forgot about 2 jobs you might have done that were under $600, so you didn't get a 1099? It's incomplete information, so I don't understand the purpose of it, and I've always wanted to like see the evolution of 1099s
And why they came into being,
yeah, why they came into being, why they exist, why and I just don't think they're really high up on the totem pole for the IRS either. So it's like this arbitrary thing that we do that it's like one of those really weird laws that exists, but nobody enforces it. And so I almost want to be like, we don't really need to do this, right? Can we just stop? Because nobody cares. Anyway,
wouldn't it be
so
nice?
yeah. The whole month in itself wasn't that bad, but last week was pretty rough because they wanted me to work. I don't know at what point I don't care for overtime, but this is that year. I just don't care for overtime. I can barely get my 40 hours in, and they wanted me to do 46, like 44 to 46 one week, and then 50 the third week of January. And then the last week they didn't really care because it was starting to dwindle and, it wasn't as intense, thankfully. But oh my gosh, I like that 50 hours. It doesn't sound like I remember I would work that amount of time, if more, when I was younger. But now that's a
killer.
substantial amount of time. Yeah. And I think it's like even worse when you have a family.
Yeah,
because
little kids.
I don't see them very often. Matt had to take over a lot of stuff. We had a lot of freezer meals that we ate, and that gets old by day 4. If you pick decent ones, and sometimes you just don't have decent ones to pick. Anyway, so I'm grateful that January is over, but Anders, he's had a lot going on this past month. He's in gymnastics, which he enjoys. Yeah. Well, and then he saw, because we thought it was hilarious to watch 4-year-olds do wrestling, because there was a video that we came across on the internet. And so we were watching it and getting a kick out of it. And Anders is like, I want to do that. Matt was doing a little victory dance in his head. Yeah. So he wants to wrestle. Anyway, Matt wants him to be a professional fighter. I'm okay if he doesn't ever do that. And wrestling is that step closer. Yep. And who knows, like we just whatever. Anders will do what Anders will do. So
yep.
But yeah, and then he got his first zit, which he wouldn't let me pop. I was kind of sad because it looked like a good one. But anyway, so that was weird because he's 6.
It happens.
They do. And then he's got his adult teeth coming in.
Ooh.
Yeah. He is at that stage where he has got his adult. He didn't have, nothing came out. He still has all of his baby teeth. So what's happening Yeah. So what's happening is he's got 2 teeth behind his baby teeth on his bottom jaw coming in.
Oh no.
So he kind of looks like a little teeth monster.
Or like a little shark
Right
or
now.
something with
Yeah.
rows of teeth.
Yep. Yeah, he's going to see the dentist tomorrow to see what needs to happen, but it's at first I was like, it'll be fine. I'll just see what happens, and they should be, those adult teeth should be popping out those baby teeth, but then I thought, well, what if it causes his adult teeth to grow in weird? So I'm like, okay, here you're going into the dentist. So we're going to see what they suggest and go from there. But yeah, it's kind of funny where he just has like these double teeth right now. I mean, his baby teeth are getting loose, but it's just so crazy. Like, it seems way too soon. It's not. But as a mom, it's like, no, this is years down the road. No. Like, when he started kindergarten, I saw his whole life flash before my eyes, and he was already going off to college. But, so yeah. And then, I don't know if you've ever had this situation, and I never thought this would happen, but being a person not growing up with a cell phone, but like having one after high school, I didn't think that apps would be stressful, but they are. So Anders comes home first day of school, and there's an app that his teacher wants me to download. Okay, sure. And then Emmeline is doing something, and they want me to download an app for it. And it got to the point where it's like Anders came home for another app for me to download to use, or for him to download and use, and then somebody referred Emmeline to some organization, something for Utah for kids with not special needs, but like education issues, because they didn't even know she had Down syndrome. And so anyway, it's called Spark. So it's like this other app. It's like, how many dang apps do I need to freaking help my kids do the things that they need to do, or what? There were way too many apps. Like, so Anders, poor kid, gets the wrath of my frustration of all these stupid apps I have to get and download and look at and use. And anyway, I never thought I'd be frustrated about apps, but here I am.
It's true. No, like even my boys, even Lorenzo, like the teachers, like we don't allow our kids to have a cell phone, right? There's a cell phone at home that's like the home phone. So if ever they need to call us, like they're at a party with their friends and they need a way to contact us to come pick them up, we let them take the phone with them, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like their phone, but it never leaves the house. It hasn't yet. So when Lorenzo came home and it's like, I have to, in order to get points for this assignment, I have to download this app. And I was like, but you don't have a phone. Like, how are they going to? And so I had to text the teachers and say, we don't allow our kids to have a phone. Like, what do you want to do here? Don't dock them the points. I'll download the thing onto my phone. But it's like, and they all use different things. Like one teacher uses this, another teacher uses this, the elementary school uses this. And I'm just like, I have 6 apps on my phone that handle my boys' grades and school reminders and just all this stuff. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. And it takes up a huge amount of space on my phone. Like, my phone doesn't have a lot of space on it. But it is what it is.
Yeah, it's annoying.
It is.
Who knew?
I know. And how come we have to be contacted in a million different ways? Why can't you either text me or email me? Like, what's wrong with those 2 things?
Yeah.
Like, you could mass email everybody. It's the same as these little apps, or text with the text and then copy the text and send it to everybody. I don't know how it is, but there's where we don't have to download a million apps.
Oh
I
my
hate
gosh.
it.
Yeah.
I hate it
I
too.
just hope it
So
doesn't get
I
worse.
understand
Yeah.
your frustration.
Oh, good. All right. How have you been?
Oh, well, just terrific. School's been going really good. I've taken a couple of my first exams and done very well on them, so that's always good.
Yeah.
Um, I'm really enjoying my
What
English
classes are you
class
taking?
and
Yeah.
my statistics class and my
Ooh.
biology class. Oh, I'm like,
The one that is like the main focus of you going back to school. That one's hard.
it's so hard, Kindy. It's like so many terms and so many like differentiate between these cells and all their parts and what their names are, and you have to know so many like scientific words and exactly how to spell them and what they all. Oh, it's so much information, and I'm like, this is so much for my brain.
Yeah. So wait, are you working still while going to school, or are you? Oh my gosh.
Yep, I'm finishing out the year as a reading tutor, and then next fall when my program starts, I'm gonna just go to school full time. So.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So right now it's just the electives.
Well, it's not
Kind
the
of, or are you
electives.
doing
It's
both?
like what I need to graduate, and I'm like, I'll
Oh,
get
okay.
these out of the way, so I
Yeah.
don't have to. Like a couple of
Worry
them are
about 'em later.
prerequisites, and then so I'm taking the 4 classes, and a
Oh
couple
my
of
gosh.
them are the prerequisite. So I'm going to school full time.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It is a
I
lot.
was like, 4 classes is a lot.
It's 13 credits. So
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. People, can you not tell? I hate this. Not for you, but I just would not go back to school. It's not in the cards for me because none of that sounds appealing at all. If anything, if I were to go back, it would be for accounting. But the frustrating part is that's not all I'd have to learn. I'd have to take these dumb classes that have
Yep.
nothing to do with accounting. It's like
Exactly.
I don't want to pay $5,000 for a class that has nothing to do with what I'm trying to learn more of. I just would not be going back to school.
Yeah, I
And
don't
so
understand
that's
why
why I
they
just
do
get
that.
flipped.
Like, why
I
can't
don't
it be
either.
like, this is my focus, let me take that stuff?
Yeah. That's why I get like accounting for dummies, because it just gets straight to the point.
Yes, yes.
But, okay, so 13 credits. Holy
Yes.
crap, that's a lot. And you're working, and you have kids, and you have a husband, and you have dogs, and you have a house, and you have a yard, and you have clothes. It's just so many things you have
My
to.
calling, that one takes
And
up a
you're
lot
calling.
of
Oh,
time.
that one. Yeah.
And then this, so yeah. But do you know what I found out? So, Kindy, I have this weakness. And
Uh-oh.
it's the weakness of not getting things done. I'm not very good at it.
Mhm.
I'm like, I can do that later, right? But when the cool thing that I found with being like, I have to get this done. I have to like schedule
deadline.
things in, and I'm giving myself deadlines, and I'm working off this like routine, and it is awesome, and I'm doing so good. Like I'm ahead in my classes, and I've got that done, and it's so rewarding too. Like check that off my list, and I got that done, and it just feels so good.
Yeah.
To instead of just when I'm don't have very many like things I have to finish, they just never get finished. And now I have to finish things, and I'm like rocking it, and it's awesome. And so I've really liked going back to school and kind of like scheduling out my life essentially.
Well, good. Yeah.
It's been
Because
awesome.
you're having to be held accountable outside of yourself, and so it's more.
And like I still have to like do my treatments, so I got to fit those in there, and it's just like it's a lot to do in a day.
Oh yeah.
But I feel like I think it's just Heavenly Father just like, here's some blessings of time stretched out for you, or you learn things
Yeah.
quicker, or whatever it is that he's doing to me.
Mhm.
It's just awesome because I feel like a superhero right now that I'm able to do all those things.
That's awesome. I love that. So, if anything, you're getting more out of going to school, not only the education, but also the time management
Yes.
that you're learning.
Yes.
That's
It's
good.
excellent.
That's great. It is. And it's interesting that you say that God is stretching your time, because I was listening to a podcast months ago, and they talked about people who utilize their time different than others, like their aspect of time. I'll have to find it and send it to you. It was really interesting and kind of eye-opening, because there's a difference between people who get a lot accomplished and people who feel rushed. They have the same amount of time, they have the same amount of hours in every day, but it's the concept of time that is different for each person. It's, what do you put your time to? If you're aware of what you're putting your time to, you can better manage where you're gonna move your time, better manage your
How you spend it.
schedule, or
Yeah.
how you spend it. And I'm not articulating it as well as the podcaster did, because this is secondhand and I'm terrible at telephone. So I'll have to find it and maybe have you put it on the Facebook of what it was. But it was really interesting, and it's kind of like that, where you feel, because I think everybody has this feeling of being rushed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you feel rushed every day, like you got to get this done, you got to get this done, you got to get that done. But if you change it to where it's like you have the time that you need to do the things that need to get done,
Mm-hmm.
and you just kind of think of it a little differently. Anyway, so good job on accomplishing and doing great in that. That is awesome.
Thanks.
That's great, Emmeline.
Thanks.
I'm happy that you're doing well.
Me too.
I know
Check
that
back
was
with
a
me
stretch.
next month and we'll see how
Yeah.
how I feel once the classes get harder. Because, at the
yeah.
beginning of class, stuff's easy. So
Yeah.
that's when you get in
that's true. Until
halfway
your
through that
program
you're like,
starts.
ah! This is it." Yeah.
I mean, you already have a hard class, biology. That's not easy.
Yeah,
That's hard.
it's and I should specify, because when I told one of the ladies I work with, I'm like, yeah, my biology class, it's so hard. She's like, she got with me later. She's like, what? Like, and then I told her, I'm like, it's anatomy and physiology in one, so it's 2 classes in one. And
Okay.
and she was like, oh, I thought you were just taking regular biology. I'm like, no. it's a little bit more complex. So
That's what. So is that intentional, or did you pick the class because it's both?
So that's the
thinking
one
that
I
it was-
need. That's one of the prerequisites that I need for the
2
program.
classes in one?
Well, I could take 2 classes separately, but I was like, I'm gonna,
okay.
because I needed
You're
both of them in order to
kiboshing
take
that.
microbiology, which is part of
That's
respiratory therapy.
interesting that they did that. That they're like, you don't want to take 2 separate classes? Here's 2 in 1.
Yep.
That is interesting.
Yeah. So
They should do that more often then, if that's a possibility.
yeah.
People would get done a lot faster. Maybe. I don't know. They take less classes. I don't know. So technically, you're taking
That's my 4-credit class.
not just, I was gonna say it'd have to, well, I'm surprised it's not like 5 or 6.
No, that's what it feels like. I'm like, I have to study for like 12 hours for this class.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So
That is
one's
crazy.
my life sucker outer at classes.
Sucks all your energy.
Yeah.
Have you hit the part where you have to have like study partners or study groups, or
I've gone and met up with we have these tutors that work at like in a certain area on campus, and you can go meet up with them. And I met up with the one over science, and she's really awesome. Shout out to Patrice. Thank you for all your help so far. It's been great.
That's good. I think we'd be lost without tutors.
She taught me like all the anatomy, all the regions of the human body in like 10 minutes. It was awesome. I have
that
them
is
all
awesome.
memorized.
That's good.
Yeah,
Did she
and
give
it's
you
like
a...
it's like 87 terms.
Holy crap.
Yeah. It was she's amazing.
That's awesome. Good job. Good job for being a tutor. That's a good name. Patrice. Awesome.
Anyway, so that's that.
Pretty much consuming your life right now. Yeah.
His work's been good, and Clark got sick. Like there's germs going around, and he brought one home, and he's been sick all week. So poor guy.
Has he been home? Like he's been so sick he's had to stay home?
He's been running a temperature and puking his guts out, and just miserable. So
poor kid.
Yeah. But he's today he seemed better, so I think he's on the mend. He's like,
oh, good.
His voice wasn't so scratchy, and he kept his food down. So yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yay. Has his temperature broke yet?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It did on day 3. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
Nothing's worse than getting sick. It sucks.
It does suck. I have the word of the month, and the word is fugacious. So, Kindy, what do you think fugacious means?
Oh, God. It sounds like it's from the root. How do they say it? The Latin root word of fugal.
It's actually the Latin for fugax. I don't know if I'm saying it wrong.
Fugax sounds like a cat. You say something and then gets a hairball. Fugax. Fugacious. Gaseous. And then I think of geishas. Which probably has nothing to do with performance or entertainment or dressing up in fancy costumes. I got nothing. I'm gonna say it means to be rambunctious.
Okay. It means lasting a short time.
Oh, okay. Fugacious. Too bad Clark's cold wasn't fugacious.
Yes, exactly. So a question that we have for this time from our little question cards is, what was the best or worst advice you ever received? So I'll go first because I thought of mine. So after I had my massive hemoptysis, after I had Clark, and that was where my lungs just bled and bled, and my lungs filled up with blood a couple times. I had coughed it all out.
Oh my gosh.
So after that, one of the IR doctors came in and brought a transplant doctor with him. And the transplant doctor...
Hold on. What's the IR doctor?
Interventional radiology.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
That's kind of like where they take x-rays while they're operating on you to make sure they're doing everything right.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. So it's the doctor that does the x-rays.
Well, it's the operation. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So instead of the OR doctor, they call them IR doctors now?
No. IR doctors are different than OR doctors because IR doctors use like the veins and stuff. It's less invasive kind of an operation than the OR doctors do.
Okay.
So it's still an operation. It's just they use different
Techniques.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Anyway. Okay.
So yes,
the IR doctor comes in.
Doctor came in and he brought with him a transplant doctor, and the transplant doctor's like, I looked at all your stuff and your X-rays and all your things, and I think that you need a transplant. And if you don't get one, that's a big mistake, and you are dumb, essentially, is what he said to me. And Kyle, he got a totally different take from this because I asked him about it. He's like, he wasn't doing that. And I was like, holy crap. I had just had this traumatizing event, and he came in and told me that I was going to die unless I got a transplant. That was totally like fear tactics on me, and I hated it, and I was mad.
Yeah.
And that I should be considering this lung transplant for my new baby, and this should be something that we're seriously talking about. And I was just like, I don't like it when doctors or anybody uses fear tactics. I don't think it's a good method to get somebody to do something. Now, as a parent, have I used those? Yes.
That's your bottom dollar.
But I don't think when you're talking to an adult and they understand things, that's a necessary route to go. So his advice for me to get a lung transplant, which would have given me a whole different set of problems, was probably the worst advice I ever got, because then Trikafta came along and I've been great, and my lungs have been great, and patooey on that guy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, heck yeah. Well, and I don't know, it almost seems like the fear tactic is kind of a telltale sign that the doctor, I'm going out on a limb here because I'm assuming a lot.
Right.
But it is almost as if they do it because they know better and you should listen to them no matter what.
Ugh.
And so the fear tactic is a way for them to clench,
to manipulate you.
Advice of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And see, and Kyle remembers it completely differently. He's like, no, he just came in and was like, this is something I suggest after seeing what your lungs looked like. And so that's it. And Kyle's like, that's all he did. And I was just like, man, I remember that so differently.
Not the right time to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, how about you let me recover? How about you ask, have you thought about this?
And maybe he did say that. And I was just like, my brain sometimes goes 5 steps in the future and says, that's what they're saying to me. And that isn't what they said to me. And so it was just I was not in the right mind to have a conversation about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or even hear a conversation about that, because apparently I interpreted it wrong. So for me, that was the worst advice. And Kyle was like, he was just suggesting. So it wasn't the worst advice. Never mind.
No, it was. It still was. Doesn't matter what Kyle heard. To you, it was the worst advice.
Yeah.
And the worst approach.
Yes.
So we're going to go with that.
Okay. What about you?
I couldn't think of anything. And that's not to say that no one's ever given me bad or good advice. Like, people have given me both. But I can't think of like one situation that I remember. So I don't know what that means. Maybe I'm broken that I can't think of things that people have given me advice on. Actually, I take it back, because I just thought of one.
Ooh, say
but it. it's not anything that like one specific person has said. I think it's just different sources, and and it's mostly, or it's just myself giving my own advice of my life, where it's to just kind of calm down. And because I think I've talked about this before, where I'm just like, go, go, go. Don't stop. Don't think. Just do. Just act. And with kids and with my job, I've learned that I have to kind of take a breather and be more present is kind of like the advice that seems to be profound. Not profound, but like, you know how when you need to hear something, you hear it from multiple sources?
Yes.
That's kind of what I'm getting at. It's like it's something that I need to hear and to understand because I'm thick-headed or something. So it has to keep being repeated to me in different ways. And so I think that's the main advice that I have been hearing from different sources of like be present in the moment, because there's a lot of times where Anders is trying to talk to me and I'm trying to do something else, or I'm listening to something on my phone and it's not important. It's like a TV show and it's like that's not important. What's important is your relationship with your son. And Matt has pointed out, because I get easily frustrated with my children. I don't know what it is. I think it's because I have to I like to plan out things like, okay, today I'm going to do this and this and this and this.
Mm-hmm.
And if something messes with that plan, oh man, it's hard. It's hard. I'm easygoing, but I realize that like when I want to do something like clean an area of the house, I'd like to get it done and not interrupted. Like I have started cleaning the living room and I did get a good amount of that done, but I've started cleaning the living room. I started folding laundry, but I haven't completely completed it because I get interrupted. And thankfully, well, Emmeline's like at the stage where she just is a pill, but I've gotten to the point. No, I haven't. I'm lying to myself. I haven't gotten to any point where I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be able to finish this today because I still want to finish things.
Uh-huh.
And now I think I've gone on enough tangents that I can't think of what I was getting at. Oh, advice and just being present. What was it? Where if I'm more calm and paying like
Go with the flow.
more, yeah, just more present, not thinking, okay, I have to do this and this and this in like 10 minutes or 5 minutes or an hour or in a week or whatever. The Anders is more receptive to that and he's calmer and we get along a lot better. Whereas if I'm just trying to get crap done and I'm just trying to focus on things instead of the people,
Mm-hmm.
it's not good for any of us. Anyway, I think I had another point too, but so that's kind of the the advice that I feel like God is trying to tell me. He's like, just freaking, it's the people around you. It's the relationships. It's not the things. It's not the things that you have to do around the house or projects that you create because, you know, like hobbies or whatever. It's the people in your life.
So we're kind of similar because when Lorenzo was right about where Anders' age is, I kind of went through the same thing. Yeah. I was like, I need to be more present for my people. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I kind of had the same, that same shebang that I had to go through.
Sounds familiar.
Yep, it does.
Yeah, it's just kind of funny because it seems like it's a no-brainer. Like, of course you're going to be present. You're living your life, but it is insane how easy it is to get distracted and how easy it is to be planning the future and thinking about the past and not even being in the present. Like, mm-hmm. Yeah, and just enjoying your life for what it is and where you're at, even if you're in a hard trial. That trial is going to make you a better person. If you're not in a trial and you're just living your life, like there are things in each situation to be grateful for. And I feel like just being able to acknowledge what I do have, like I've got a great husband, I've got a roof over, I've got great kids, I've got a roof over my head, I've got clothes, we have food, we have ways to provide for ourselves. Like there's enough things to wish and to want and to wish our life away that it's just a good reminder to just be present. Hard to do, but if it's important to you, you can accomplish it.
Yep. We had one of our listeners ask if we could do another book recommendation. So we both thought of a book, and we both picked a children's book. So, Kindy, you want to talk a little bit about yours first?
Yeah, I am suggesting Little Blue Truck by Alice Schertle. I think that's how you say her last name. It's super cute. Even the illustrations are adorable. It's just about a little blue truck that just is puttering around and is being present. Speaking of being present, and is saying hi to all the farm animals. And then you have this big truck that just zooms past because he's so busy and he's got important things to do. And so he zooms past everybody and doesn't say hi, and because he's got to go. But he gets stuck in the mud, and then with the little blue truck and all the animals and the frog. The frog is the key because that's the one that actually has the strength to help push everybody out of the mud. He's magic, apparently. And and then the big important truck realizes how important it is to have friends. And anyway, so
cute.
It's super cute. It rhymes the whole way through, which I appreciate and love. So that's my recommendation.
Awesome. I picked a book I never heard about until I became a reading tutor. It's called Quiet in the Library, and it's by Wendy Evans. And it's a really simple read. It has lots of onomatopoeias where, it's the word that's the sound. And it's just all these animals come barging into the library, and the kids keep telling them to be quiet, because you're quiet in the library. And so it's very repetitive. So if you're teaching a kid to read, it's very good because then they can recognize these words. Mm-hmm. And it's got some cute little, onomatopoeias that are fun to say. And then at the very end, the kids cheer about the book that the librarian was reading to them. And then all the animals have to tell the kids, quiet in the library. And it was great. So it's a fun book. Yeah, that's my recommendation.
Dun, 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 dun. Smallville. Oh my gosh. Holy crap. Okay. Oh, it's getting better. 3. It's getting better, people. Whew, I got some things to say after we talk about all of this. But
all right, so first episode of season 3, episode 1, I called it Teenage Rebellion.
Yeah, it's called Exile. Which I don't know why, because he exiled himself. Does that count? I think, doesn't someone else have to kick you out in order for you to actually be exiled? I don't know. Teenage Rebellion's way better, though. It could have even been called Rebellious. Like, if we're going for one word, Rebellious would have been a lot better than Exile.
All right, so under the influence of red kryptonite, Clark is following a life of crime in Metropolis for 3 months while his friends and parents desperately try to find him. Lex is forced to confront his personal demons on a desert island, while Lionel holds a funeral for his presumed dead son, and Jonathan Kent must pay a high price for the power necessary to bring his son back home. Okay, so there were a couple things that I really liked about this, and one of them is there's just some good songs in it that remind me of being a teenager.
Oh my gosh, so
they had
many
some good
ones.
Charlotte. They had some Black Eyed Peas.
They did. You have to remember they're in high school, but even in high school, I do feel like they've kind of matured a little bit.
Yes.
I love Chloe's haircut.
Oh,
in
it looks
the other
so
episode,
good on her.
They don't style it very well, but yeah, this first episode, it's like, oh man, you just look so good. But
so what's funny is she went and got a haircut over the break in between season 2 and season 3, and they got so mad at her.
Serious?
She was not, like, I think it's in her contract that they aren't supposed to, like, have drastic changes to their appearance. And anyway,
Even a haircut.
Yep, a haircut.
Oh my gosh!
But it just looks so good for her.
It fit for her.
Yeah,
though.
it did. And people in real life get haircuts. It's just they're kind of walking away from a time period. Do you remember the show Felicity?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the actress in that, I forget her name, Carrie Russell.
Super curly hair.
Yes, but she chopped it all off, and then the show tanked, right?
Yeah.
So they were kind of like, crap, you can't change your hair because we don't want our show to tank. Dumb. But anyway, so yes, she got a haircut and it looked great.
It did. Looked so good.
Oh, did you notice the bank with the clown masks? Did it remind you of anything?
It reminded me of Batman.
Yep, The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Was it supposed to?
No, I don't think so because that one didn't come out. It hadn't been out yet, but that's what it reminded me of. Maybe
they
Christopher Nolan pulled it from Smallville.
Yeah, maybe. Well, okay, so Lana says at one point that maybe Clark is waiting for the right person to find him. And I wanted it to be Chloe so bad, but then you find out that she actually did find him, but he's not, like, she wasn't who he wanted to see. Later in the episode, you find out that she had found him.
Yeah.
Quickly. Because that's what I was thinking. Like, as the episode was going, I'm like, come on. You can't tell me that Chloe hadn't found him. Like, she knows everything. She has got connections everywhere.
Yeah,
so there is no way that this chick hasn't found him. And then you find out that she actually did. So
she found him right after he left.
Yeah. Right. A month after, I think, because she was like, I found him 2 months ago or whatever. Oh, and then, okay, so I know we've talked about this before, and I know I'm beating a dead horse, but the relationship between Chloe and Lana is so forced. It's annoying. It is so annoying. They are not friends. They
don't do the same things.
They don't. They don't. The storyline doesn't fit. I don't know why they're forcing it because it doesn't mesh.
It just makes it easier if they're friends for everybody hanging out together sometimes, you know?
But it's a small town. You don't have to have everybody hang out together. And
no, but you do for a show.
No. No, you don't. They can even, like, Lana could even have a different friend and they could, like, be talking to each other about, like, have the same conversation.
Then they gotta pay another actress. Else.
Well, they are making a lot of money at this point, so I think they could have splurged. Thank you, for someone else, because it does not work. Their personalities, like, I'm not saying opposite people can't be friends, but it's just they both love the same person.
Yeah, and that causes conflict.
Yeah, but they're like, no, they're friends. No, they're not. They're not friends at all. They may live together, which is still weird, ridiculous. But yeah. Anyway, so just the beginning of that was really annoying. And
well, I have a thing that annoys me. Or something I just want to point out. You know, red kryptonite, how it works different than green. Green just has to be close by for it to affect Clark. But red has to not just be on him. It has to be worn. Because if it's touching him, he could still get away with, like, it not affecting him. But it has to be, like, worn in some way. Because, like, he's holding the ring and it doesn't affect him. But as soon as he puts it on, then it affects him.
True.
So it's like
a whole other thing. Yeah, that is true. I didn't even notice that, and I'm the one that's supposed to point out the
flaws.
Yeah.
It's one that, like, crops up all the time. The kryptonite, like, sometimes and sometimes, like, all the time.
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
Especially that one episode where Pete's holding it, and then all of a sudden he opens up his hands and
then it affects Clark.
paralyzed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, so the iron is just an option that it works, and sometimes it doesn't, and yeah. That's true, because then in one of the episodes that we're about to talk about, he's close to kryptonite, with the we'll talk about it, but the bullet vest that he makes out of but they're there and they're glowing, like it should have made him kind of wobble a little bit.
But his body was behind the iron plate.
Yeah. No, he grabs it, he pulls it off.
And it's still like there on the other side of it.
Yeah. But
I justified that one in my brain. That one was okay.
Yeah. No, it's not okay. Because I just realized it and I'm like, oh yeah, that is true.
Yep, they do it all the time.
Oh, it's so annoying. Well, it even happens in no, it's this one where he goes, okay, at some point he is hired to steal a package from Lionel in the safe that used to have the refined kryptonite.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, you can't magic that away, but they did. There's no kryptonite in there. He just is like, okay, I know where that's at. I'm going to go in there and just walk in because I forgot
Cal and I'm super awesome.
Yeah, it is so annoying. Like he didn't even like hesitate at all.
Right.
There, even like I can imagine he move it because the robbers and whatever. Obviously, it's not safe. There should have been a small hesitation anyway. Okay. I did think for a minute that the island was set up for Lex. Like whoever was trying to kill him off, I thought that the island was there for.
It was a setup.
Yeah, like the guy that he imagined.
Oh, gotcha. Well, yeah. And
there,
how long did it take before you realized he imagined Crazy Lewis? So Lex is on this island, right? And
3 months.
For 3 months with this other guy that's been stranded there, and
for 3 years.
Yep. How long did it take you to realize that Lewis was a figment of Lex's imagination?
I did not figure it out. So it took for the guy to be like, dude, what are you doing? And then he's got a stick.
He's like, I'm killing this guy. I had to save myself. And he's like, what guy?
Yeah. And
so Lex gets rescued, but he's killing Crazy Lewis, who had tried to kill him and who wasn't even really there. Anyway, did you ever go through a rebellious phase?
No.
No?
Well, I guess if you ask my mom, she might say that I did. But it wasn't rebellious. It was more like I was just stealing cash from her. So does that count as rebellion?
I don't know. Maybe for you, that's Kindy rebellion. There you go.
Yeah.
You were rebellious.
Yeah, I was. And I bought candy with it.
Ooh.
Yeah. That was it. But.
So there was one point that I was like, I'm going to look. I wanted to look. I know this is going to. I'm sorry, family. I wanted to look sexier. And so I went and I, got all these like.
Tight
and they
shirt,
aren't even like sexy clothes. I got like a skirt that was slightly shorter, that was black, and I got these like
slightly
really
shorter than what?
Slightly shorter than my other skirts, like an inch shorter than skirts that went to my knees. And I got these like black tall leather boots, and I put on like a bunch of makeup, and I went to like this party and tried to be like.
Where were you living?
This was when we lived in Hampshire, so it was like the end of middle school or beginning of high school, right?
Oh, okay,
anyway, and so I was like, yeah, I'm going to be sexy. And I probably, everybody's like, oh, there's little Emmeline that's little goody two shoes or whatever they thought of me there. I'll have to ask my friends what they thought. like what my category was or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, I'm so sexy right now. I went and shopped at Hot Topic.
Ooh, the sexy face.
and got like a like bracelet there that was I thought was a sexy bracelet. So weird. Anyway, it lasted that party, so
Oh, that's funny.
I don't think
So
I
I
ever
guess
even
we're not-
wore that skirt again.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, I think even if I were rebellious, I don't know if my mom would have noticed. Like, cause she's a mom of 6 kids.
Right.
Working, so it's not like she ignored us.
But
She had other things she had to do.
she had to focus on other things, yeah.
Yeah. She had more concerns on her mind where it's like she didn't have the mental awareness, I guess, to pay attention to where we're at in our life. But yeah, anyway. I guess my rebellion would have been going to church and seeing our family because she didn't want anything to do with the church and she didn't want anything to do with her family. So I guess I did.
You were good rebellious.
Did. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, which is kind of funny. But
that's funny.
well, thankfully, though, she wasn't against us talking to our family, so that's good. She just didn't want to have anything to do with them. But yeah. You have another question on here.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to move on to that one?
So when you figure out Lex is alive and he's on this island with Crazy Lewis, there's a question or a comment Crazy Lewis makes to Lex. And you find out, obviously, Lex is imagining Crazy Lewis and he's just like a figment of Lex's imagination and he's kind of like the worst parts of himself personified, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, Crazy Lewis is like, hey, Lex. And Lex is like, I gotta get out of here. And he's like, no, you should live here forever because this is what your life is like, stripped down to its bare essence. And you're like, what is he talking about? And I was like, what would my life look if it was stripped down to its bare essence? Like, would I be on a desert island? So what would your life look like if it was stripped down to its bare essence, Kindy? What things are your necessities, I guess?
Well, I think just the same as everybody else, where it's shelter, clothing, and food.
Ooh, according to anatomy and physiology.
Your education's coming into play.
Our nutrients, oxygen, water, normal body temperature, and
so that shelter,
atmospheric pressure, because we got to be at a place on Earth that we can actually breathe the air. That's it.
Okay.
That's your survival needs. So you
yeah,
just gotta.
But to have normal body temperature, you have to have shelter. If
Not
it's too hot or
necessarily
cold.
if you live in a nice place.
Yeah, but that's not the case. The world isn't a nice place to live. There's different climates.
There's some places
I mean, the
that are
world
nice.
is a nice place. Yeah, the world is a nice place. I'm not saying that it's not. I'm just saying there's different climates.
Yes.
So shelter is that.
Shelter could contribute into that one, but it isn't necessary.
I beg to differ. I think it definitely is necessary because if you don't have shelter and it rains, you're going to get wet. And then when it gets cold, there's that temperature drop.
Yeah. Or you just, I guess, yeah, you're right. You're right. But it isn't the thing. It's normal body temperature is the thing. It isn't necessarily shelter.
But how are you going to accomplish the normal body temperature
if you live in a place where it never rains?
If you don't live in a place where it
the temperature is always nice.
Okay. In Emmeline's world of stripped down with
of magical
essence,
rainbows,
she's allowed to live with just those things. I'll be over on the other side of the planet with my shelter and food and water and clothes. Because she'll be naked. He'll definitely be naked.
Embarrassment!
I don't think we talked about how Lex gets to the desert island. So he wakes up at some point. The plane is nosediving into the ocean. And so then this season starts with him stranded on a desert island. And so he's just going crazy the whole time.
But then he gets rescued by a guy that sees his fire, a fishing boat that was passing by and sees his fire. So he gets taken home. And Lionel had given a lovely eulogy about his son. And Helen had showed up and said, I love my husband, my deceased husband, and I'm a sad widow. And did you ever expect that Helen was a gold digger?
No.
Like, they didn't portray that at all.
They didn't.
And maybe she's just really good at hiding it, or they just were like, how can we make her a bad guy?
You know what?
Last minute.
Yeah.
Is what I felt.
Yep. It wasn't planned out well. Because I feel like these 4 episodes, they didn't know what to do with Lex. They kind of had no idea what to do with him. He's just kind of floating at this point. Like he's not an active participant in these plots. He's just kind of whatever.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Like
what's going on with Lex? Oh,
nobody cares.
Okay, see you later.
Yeah. He's just minutes. There's no like scheming or plotting or anything. He's just like, whatever.
Yep.
Like because at first I was like, okay, he's onto something. Like he's gonna be worming his way into his dad's life so that he can do something. But that's like 4 episodes in, I'm getting the feeling like they're like, they just don't know what to do with them right now. Like they're trying to develop Clark and they're focusing on him and him trying to figure out who he is. But then they had him, like the first 2 episodes were so promising, and then they just let him fall back to his default goody 2-shoe. I mean, that's Clark, that's Superman, but like fall back to like that good guy persona where he was actually becoming, because I loved it in the second episode, and we'll talk about it, but I loved it. But then the last 2 episodes, 3 and 4, they're back to everybody's back to square one.
Yep.
It's annoying. It's like
they kind of do these resets, and you're like, doesn't anybody ever progress ever in this show?
Right?
And it does. It just happens like little bits by little bits.
And it only happens at the end of the seasons, and then in the middle, everybody goes back to who they were in season 1, and you're like, what happened to this progress that you were making, or egress that you were making at the end and beginning of this season? That's
what it feels like.
Yeah,
but it does get better.
Granted, we're in the 3rd season, but that's okay. And then you've got another thing.
What is it? Jonathan goes to get Clark. He makes a deal with Jor-El, and he's like, for my son, I'll do anything. And it got me to thinking about, like, how parents really sacrifice their self, even their health and their everything for their kids. And that was just a thought that I was like, yeah, parents do a lot. And sometimes I don't think I thank my parents enough for how much they did. There's a lot of great people out there that need your thanks. So if you take anything away from this episode, maybe call the parent figure in your life that really helped you progress, and thank them.
Yeah. I love the fact that you said parent figure, because not everybody's parents are ideal. And so, but there are people in your life that have sacrificed things for you. So yeah, sometimes I don't feel like I sacrifice enough, which is sad, because it's like, oh my gosh, it's weird. I don't know why this is innate in women, but we just always feel like we're not enough.
Not enough. I actually read this article that said that your brain, after like 9 o'clock at night, does this thing where it just harbors more emotion.
Yeah.
And so you shouldn't ever analyze or have an argument or discussion late at night because you'll become more emotional and won't be as rational.
Mm-hmm.
That those sort of things need to happen earlier in the day. So never sit down at night and analyze your life because you just will feel like you aren't good enough. At night, just take a break, give yourself a break, don't think about those things, and just enjoy your life and then go to bed.
There you go. Or go to bed before 9 so you don't have to hit that threshold of emotion.
Fight the
Yeah.
not think
You're
about
like,
that.
I gotta go to bed before I get too emotional.
Okay, episode 2. I called this one You Weren't Yourself because that was said so many times this episode. You weren't yourself.
It's called Phoenix.
It rose from the ashes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a weird name.
It is. Yeah. Because there's no...
I think I'd say that about every episode name. I'm like, that's a weird name.
Then it's true. I should do a tally board of how many times you say that.
I say that.
So after Jor-El grants him temporary superpowers, so Jonathan is strong. Jonathan engages Clark in a destructive battle atop the Luthor Corps building, but Clark's actions as Cal in Metropolis come back to haunt him and the Kents. Meanwhile, Lex returns from the deserted island and tries to figure out whether it was Lionel or Helen who arranged the plane crash.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
So,
Which, after Jonathan gets Clark back, I didn't really see it as a sacrifice. I don't know. Maybe that's my naiveness of like, because he got strength to fight with Clark, which it seems like that's what he needed, but then that was it. Like, I don't.
So
He would have done that if Clark was a normal person. Like, he would have gone and got him, and then they would have fought, and then Clark. I honestly though, I thought this was it. This was it for Jonathan. I thought Clark was going to kill him. That's what was going to get him out of his rebellious phase. But nope.
Jonathan has to have his telltale heart attack. That's how Jonathan.
Oh, is that how he dies?
Mm-hmm. In the Smallville universe, I don't know. Should I break it to you early or just let it happen, and you get to see
how Jonathan dies?
Yeah.
Well, you know he does, because
yeah,
he kind of is the catalyst that establishes Superman for who he is. So it's like Spider-Man. Uncle
Ben has to die.
Yeah, has to die no matter what. It's interesting because there's a new Spider-Man cartoon, and he's not even in existence, and so Spider-Man just acts like a punk.
Oh.
I think. Or their point is he wouldn't act this way because there's no reason for him to. Like, because he couldn't and wasn't there for his uncle, he's going to be there for everybody else. But if that doesn't happen, he doesn't realize how his powers can be used for good. So you kind of need that catalyst. So I'm not surprised that happens.
You're like, I don't see what the ill effects are. It shows up later. It isn't a right away thing.
Oh, okay.
I'll just tell you that.
Gotcha. Okay. Because for me, if somebody says, are you sure this is what you want? And he's like, yes, I'll do anything. It's like, if it doesn't happen instantly to me, then it's not a problem. Like I said, I have issues of like things have to happen right away.
Yeah. This one, the writers were like, you got to be in it for the long haul.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it doesn't seem like the writers are in it for the long haul. All their filler stuff. But Lex makes it back.
Yep, and he figures out that Helen's a bad guy.
Yep.
Do you think she ever loved him?
No.
Or was always in it for the money? Because, see, I was like, I don't think she was always in it for the money because they didn't write her that way. But I was like, how could she love him? Like, there were so many times where you're like, yeah, she's going to walk away from this. And then they ended up getting married. And I was like, it doesn't really make sense. Because I was like, it doesn't feel like they're in love.
Yeah.
So,
which is probably
which
why.
makes where the writers were like, well, how about she was in it for the money? I always thought she was just in it for the power. Like, that's why she...
That would have been a better dynamic.
It would have.
Yeah.
It would have been so much better than I'm a gold digger, that she was just in it to, like, glean off his coattails and then take over at some point. But
yeah, especially when she comes back with, like, tons of bags of clothes. It's like, yeah, this doesn't fit. It almost seemed like they were setting her up all of a sudden. Like,
yes.
they needed something. They didn't want Lionel to be the person to kill his own son, because there's no love there. Like, you can speculate all you want, like, oh, he just isn't good at expressing it. There's no love there. And so it's almost as if they're like, well, we can't have the dad try and kill him because we need him later, I guess. But, like, I'm sure that there's something in the future that he's probably going to do to just throw Lex off. It's almost as if I did feel bad for him. Once you find out that she's the one that planned his death, you're like, he cannot catch a freaking break.
No,
like, nobody
can't.
freaking loves him. The poor guy, he puts all his faith and trust in the wrong people, and and the whole time he's like, I'm a good judge of character. Clearly, he's not. He cannot pick a partner to save his life.
No.
And the one family that is actually good for him, the Kents, want nothing to do with him until this episode where he's like, thank you. Or no, was it the first episode? Because the Kents are losing the farm.
Yeah.
And he comes in the last minute. Here's the deed to your house. I bought it. It's yours. Your name's on it. And he's like,
I
just
think that's at
consider
the
me
end of this one.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
You might be right. Yeah. Okay.
Lex bought the farm back for the Kents. So,
that's right. It is.
He was just like, your little compass you gave me saved my life on that island. So this is kind of like, so don't feel like you owe me anything. This is your farm. Your name's on the deed. My name isn't anywhere near it. Here you go.
Yeah. Well, and then he's like, just think of me as part of the family. But then he doesn't, like, hang around or, like, he doesn't do activities with them. He's just mostly hanging out with his dad. He does give his dad a hug. But then, like I said, they seem like they don't know what to do with him right now. They're like, yeah, you're kind of meh.
Yeah.
Like, he's important because it's Lex. But for right now, it's like, they just don't know what to do with him.
No.
But...
Well, Jonathan is starting to show ill effects from having superpowers in this episode.
Is he?
Drops that jug. What was it? Orange juice?
Oh. I think
and
that
falls to the floor.
That's when the DVD might have glitched. I didn't see that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I guess I should have watched all the episodes again instead of just the last two.
Well, he's got a little bit of ill effects from that.
The ill effects start. Okay.
Oh, I liked the little thing they did with Clark's blood and kryptonite. Where they put the blood, because Morgan Edge, this bad guy, has to deliver Clark's blood, this blood that they don't know whose it is, to Lionel because he wants it. He's like,
it's the package. Nobody knows what the
package.
Morgan doesn't know what it is.
Lionel doesn't know whose it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Morgan Edge does know whose it is because he saw stupid Clark, put the blood, used his own blood into a cup, and it's like, this is what you're looking for, so that Morgan Edge would leave and stop trying to kill his family.
Dumb scene. Okay, did you
just
see
right in front of him? Just right in front of him. Well, why didn't he leave and come back with a thing of blood and say, this is what you want.
Yeah, well, not just that, but what about how Martha was tied up? What, just her lower half? Her arms weren't even tied up. She's holding the back. It's like you guys couldn't have spent like 5 minutes actually tying her up. Come on.
Make it look like she can't, like, as a parent, you would be like, I am getting out of this.
Shimmy out of the crap. Well, and then when she's not guarded anymore and Lana comes in and...
Oh my gosh.
Which, I'm not going to lie, they are doing better with Lana these first.
Yes.
Like, she's becoming more standing up for herself.
Yes.
Which I do appreciate. She's not like this cowering.
But she totally killed that guy.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Kicked him into a pitchfork.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I thought that when that happened, who did I think was coming in?
Oh, but wait, before we get on to the thing, I liked what they did with the Clark's blood bubbling when it was next to kryptonite.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was a cool effect. I don't know how they did that, but
yeah, I don't know. It was cool. It was cool. I thought it was
some sort of
just like the crazy reaction it had to it.
I liked it.
Yeah. No,
sorry. Now get to your thing.
I don't remember who I thought was coming to Lana's rescue because I think I thought it was Lex or something. I can't remember. And I don't remember why. I don't know. I thought somebody else was coming and saw that there were struggles and they had a gun and speared him. But then when you realize it's Lana, it's like, oh, you're going to be jacked up from this. No, she's fine.
Mm-hmm.
She's totally fine. Doesn't affect her. Except for that one moment of shock. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I'm jumping to the end, but I was like, finally, because there is a point that Clark brings up to Lana where he's like, you gave me this look like you were totally disgusted with me for his behavior in the city.
Yep.
And he's like, I never want to see that look on your face again. And she's like, it wasn't you. And he's like, actually, I was choosing to be that way. And that's always going to be a part of him.
He wasn't himself.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
What you gotta say.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It wasn't himself. That's right.
You weren't yourself.
You weren't yourself. Yeah. But I love that he's like, well, that he's accepting himself by saying all those things, you know. He's like, no, it's a part of me. This is who I am. It's not the main person,
but
that
guy's in there.
But yeah, he's in me, and it's
it could happen again.
I just thought that they would realize that they're not meant to be together, that Lana is having this front that she doesn't realize that she actually isn't this naive, sweet, innocent person, even though that's how they're writing her as. And Clark needs somebody else because he doesn't confide in her. He can't confide in her. He's more open with Pete and Chloe, even though Chloe has no idea, but she's more accepting and challenging Clark in good ways. But I was like so excited, but then, like I said, they just revert back because he's like, we can't be together. But obviously he gets over it because he's still pining for her. It's so frustrating.
So I made this realization. It's funny that you brought this up because Lana and Chloe kind of clear the air with each other. They're like, you know what? Because they have a fight. And Lana's like, you should have told me that you know where Clark was. And anyway, they end up clearing the air. They aren't fighting anymore about that.
They're tolerantly present.
They make the realization that Clark confides in Chloe and he loves Lana. Mm-hmm. And then I made the connection that he needs to end up with somebody he can love and confide in.
Yeah. So they're like they're each separately
they're half of who he needs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, clearly he doesn't end up with Lana or Chloe because they're not Lois.
Yep.
Or whoever this
mysterious
love
person.
interest is. Yeah, who knows if it is going to be Lois or not. But
so Clark and Lex reunite, and Lex tells Clark about how he faced an enemy on the island, but the enemy was himself, right? Mm-hmm. Or at least part of himself that he's always tried to ignore. And Clark's like, we all have to face our dark side. And Lex is like, well, if you stare at it long enough, it can get hard to tell the two sides apart.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, ooh, Lex. He's making little realizations about himself, but it got me to thinking, like, he's having a hard time keeping the bad guy out of himself. His good and his bad are starting to mingle.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I buy it, because with Clark, he tries to be good. I think because that's what Clark expects. But with everything else, he's bad. And so it's almost as if he's hiding parts of himself from Clark, just as much as Clark is hiding things from him. And it's not necessarily, I don't agree. I know what they're doing, and I understand what you're saying. I don't like it, because he's only different when it comes to Clark and people around Clark. But everybody else, he's like this manipulative, power hungry kid. And it's like, it's mostly, why is it that he's one way with Clark, but with everybody else, he's himself?
I think there's a couple of options. I think part of it is he's so intrigued by Clark, and he knows Clark is different, and he knows that something's there that's powerful, and he can use that for himself. So in order to get close to this kid, he's gotta, because he responds well when he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
So that's what he uses in a manipulative way to get this guy to respond to him. And he's persistent, because that's how people are that are successful in life. They go after something, and they go after it hard, right?
Yeah.
And so he's got to be a nice guy hard for a long time to try and get the information he wants from Clark. So that's one scenario. Another scenario is he wants that life. Part of himself wants the loving family, wants the good friend, wants the supportiveness.
I think it could be both. He wants the information, and he wishes he had Clark's life at times.
Yes. So there you go.
Okay.
Those are my two.
So I don't think it's a realization.
Reasonings.
Yeah, I don't think it's the, I don't know. He just likes to pontificate in front of Clark because he knows Clark won't mock him for it. Maybe he's just like,
maybe
I feel comfortable being thoughtful around you because I know you won't make fun of me, but I can't show this weakness around other people because I have to be the one in power. And it's interesting that him and his dad are trying to get the same thing. If they just work together, they could accomplish so much more.
Oh yeah.
But they fight each other the whole way. Well, except right now
because they want to be the main
power
dude,
the top head.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't appreciate was this in this episode where Lionel is getting a massage? I'm like, too much.
Is it? Might be. Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
He's very fit for an old guy, though.
He is very fit, but I don't know why I was having issues, because there's another one where it's like you're so in the next episode there's a guy who's making bullets out of kryptonite and he's shirtless. It's like, what?
Well, it's because he had to do sit-ups while the bullets were
and you have to be shirtless
off.
to do to do sit-ups.
Yep.
I mean, it was just like, he has a good body, but it's like, it's not necessary. Like that's not the show. I guess they dropped
part
the
of it
viewers and they were trying to get sex appeal. I guess that's true, because Clark also in the next episode was shirtless a couple just once actually. So maybe they're trying to amp up the sex appeal.
Maybe. I didn't know that he would. You keep track of that one. Shirtless.
How many shirtless people are in
How many shirtless people? How many shirtless
I
guys?
don't want to track it. It's annoying. It's like, there's situations that call for it, like the episode that's next where Clark is gonna get in water and he takes his shirt off, but where you're smelting? No. Or doing sit-ups outside in the
that you
dirt?
need more clothes on.
Yes, not
Ugh.
less.
Well, let's jump to that next episode before we talk about it too much more. Let's call it.
Okay.
So episode
Wait,
3.
are we done talking about this other one?
Yeah, we're
'Cause
done talking about that one.
You've got a question in here, though.
It's
about
okay.
Okay.
That one's, we don't need to talk about.
Okay.
Okay, I called it Freak because that's what he had written on all the rocks.
And that would have made a lot of sense, but it's called Extinction.
Extinction.
Terminator would have been better.
Clark discovers that someone is hunting people who have been affected by the meteor rocks, and the killer's next target is Lex. Clark uses his powers to save Lex, but is caught off guard when the killer learns his weakness and shoots him later with a kryptonite bullet. Meanwhile, Lex returns to work at Luthor Corp, but the animosity between him and his father continues.
In a much milder way.
Yep. Just, I'm going to have you sharpen pencils.
Yeah.
And you don't get any important work.
That's hilarious.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it opens up. Is it? Yeah, it opens up. Partway through the opening little blip, Lana goes swimming by herself at night in a pool.
And
like, who
I think it's a
goes
school
swimming
pool.
by themselves? I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah. Even if, and the fact that it's at the school pool. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But that would be closed. Like,
Yeah, it
No.
would. Like, you don't have a key to get into there all by yourself, Lana.
you're not Chloe. Only Chloe has access to everything.
All the things.
Not Lana.
And there's a kid in there who has meteor powers, and he likes Lana, because who doesn't? And
Oh my gosh.
why, if you like someone, would you try to strangle them or pull them underwater? I
Right.
didn't understand this, Kindy.
I didn't either.
Because that's what he did.
Yeah.
He saw that she was swimming and was watching her, and then he goes up and he tries to pull her underwater to drown her, and he tries to strangle her. It was so weird.
It was weird. Like, his whole focus is on Lana, and I love the line that his friend, that Van said, is Lana Lang. Very original. I loved it.
It's true.
Because, everybody wants Lana. It's so annoying and overrated
Yep.
and overdone. So, mostly overdone. So, I thought that was pretty clever. But,
Yep. Oh, and Clark's back on the torch. The previous episode, him and Chloe had kind of like a talk, and she's like, well, I need you
Wasn't
back
really
at the
a
torch.
talk.
And he's like, well, I don't know if I'm going to be here anymore. And she's like, don't run away from your problems.
oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, because
And-
he's not sure if he's going to stay, where would he go? That's what I didn't understand. But,
It's like, I'm not sticking around here in these parts.
yeah.
But you're like, where are you going to go, dude?
I was so sad when the because you see the new sheriff in some of the scenes, and I was so sad that her Western ways weren't so prominent. Like, you could still see that she was skeptical of Clark. But I really missed this town ain't big enough for the two of us kind of mindset. I love that
Yeah.
about her. I love that.
I'm
but-
seeing a lot of you around here, Mr. Kent.
Yeah. You did that so much better. Yeah. So it kind of made me sad, but I was happy that she was still a sheriff. So that was good.
Yeah. So, and it ends up that while she's getting strangled underwater, this other character comes in, and it's Van, the kid's friend, who talked to him and said, very original, Lana Lang,
Mm-hmm.
He shoots him and kills him. And then Lana's able to get out of the water, and she's okay.
Yeah.
And he throws in a meteor rock in there that says Freak on it, which is apparently his calling card or whatever.
Yeah.
Then Lana is talking to Clark later and says that she's glad that the kid was shot. And Clark's like, no, nobody should be killed. Like, he should have been punished, but... And they kind of have like this disagreement there about it. And it made me think of the death penalty and like, what are your thoughts there? Are you in favor of it? Are you in favor of it? Or are you like, no way, no Jose? No Jose?
No,
No
Jose.
way, no...
Jose.
No Jose?
No way, Jose. It's
No way, Jose.
Yeah.
I was like, that isn't right. No way, no Jose.
No way, no Jose. I love that. No way, no Jose. I'm writing that down.
No Jose. That's what we're calling this episode. Stuff with moms. No way, no Jose.
That's awesome.
Listen to me butcher that up. Okay. But what do you think? What are your thoughts on the death penalty, Kindy? That's kind of a heavy topic, but whatever you want to say or not say.
So I've actually not had a lot of, like, I don't have strong feelings one way or the other, but I definitely think, but I'm also on the fence with this as well, where pedophiles deserve to die. But I also want them to be tortured. So it's kind of not Christ-like whatsoever in this aspect, but that's one where it's like torture or just you shouldn't be present in this life. So it's kind of
I have a feeling about that too. That's actually what I was going to bring up. So I'm like, those guys should just have their parts chopped off. And if it's a lady, she should have her parts chopped off.
Yeah, well, the inside, like, she shouldn't be able to have kids.
Yeah. Yep. They just don't get those parts anymore.
Nope.
That's your consequence.
Yep. That's why it's like torture or death. Which one's like maybe it should be dependent upon how severe you treated the kids.
Oh my gosh. I don't even want to, like, that's so awful. That is so awful.
Yep.
When I hear about stuff like that, I'm like, death penalty to you all.
Yeah. Yeah. The most innocent creatures on this planet, and that's how you decide to treat them. Like, it's evil, it's the devil, it's just it's a sickness that should be treated with death penalty or torture, because, and I hate that our society is starting to have compassion towards these people. It's like, no. The compassion is when they say, I have a problem, I need to fix this, not, oh, I've done a few things, it's not that big of a deal. No, it is. It's a huge deal. And I hate the fact that we're starting to kind of cross that line into it's okay to be attracted to people that are underage. No, it's not.
Nope.
No,
it isn't.
Anyway. No way, no Jose.
Oh, man. Oh. If we have a listener named Jose, we still love you.
Yes, we do. We do want Jose here. Just, what are your thoughts about the death penalty? Like, have you thought? Because isn't it granted to like murderers or something? I don't even know what the standard is.
I don't even know.
It probably depends on the state. Because I know there are states that don't allow it.
That's correct.
So.
There's very few that actually still have the death penalty, I think.
And even
now I gotta look it up. Now I gotta look it up, Kindy. Who still has the death penalty?
And how often is it executed? I'm gonna look up how often. Because I think even if you're on death row, like, you can be not. I don't know. I don't even know how to ask this question. How often are people?
27 states. So more than half.
For every 8 people executed in the United States, 1 person on death row has been exonerated. This means that how about in a year, actually? in 2023, 23 people were executed. And in 2024, 25 people were executed. So pretty good, pretty high number. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe it's not enough. Yeah, I don't know either. People, hopefully you don't have strong feelings about this. We totally just like shocked you into
death penalty. But my thoughts on it, like, I don't know, like,
I think I don't know enough
that
about
people deserve second chances. Yes. Is there a line that should be drawn that, like, there's no redemption there, you deserve to die? I don't think that's up to us.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to protest when they're like, this guy did enough bad stuff. There's so many people that get away with stuff, though.
Mm-hmm.
So many bad guys. So many bad people. Not just guys. Bad people out there. That isn't the question. Death penalty, yes or no? I'm glad I'm not in charge.
Right. You don't have to make that decision.
I don't have to make that decision.
Yeah, and I don't have to be the judge of the people that do. So
yes, I would never go into that.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
I would never even be a judge on this earth. That's not
No.
something that I want, or a lawyer. No, thank you.
Nope. I thought it was really annoying where everybody referred to Alana and Clark as having a relationship or being boyfriend and girlfriend. They weren't. They, it was a fleeting moment of their long existence of knowing each other. But yeah, everybody's like, oh, you're, I can't remember how they referenced it a couple times, but it's like, dude, they didn't even have a relationship. Why are you acting as if they did? Because somebody's like your ex-girlfriend or your boyfriend or whatever, and it's like they're not even
went
together.
on one date,
right?
Or they kissed. They
like
kissed once, and nobody was even around to see it. Like,
I mean, I guess it's annoying because they don't want anybody else, but they don't want each other, and they don't. It's just really annoying to watch. It's really annoying to watch this whole being stuck thing where it's like Clark doesn't trust Lana enough to confide in her. He doesn't love Chloe enough, but he trusts her. You're right. It's just they're half of one person that he needs, and it's annoying to watch.
it is.
The other thing too, but here's the thing though, because he doesn't have to be obsessed with Lana anymore, because in that second episode, he's like, he didn't like how she looked at him. And
and
that doesn't go away.
She said, what is it? Is it this one that she said it? Where she was like, life would be so much better for everybody if the meteor shower just never happened.
Well,
yeah, that was this episode. It was this episode, and I was just like, why doesn't Clark take that as a big old knock upside the head to just
leave her alone?
I mean, be friends with her, fine.
Yeah.
But she cannot handle
him.
That. And that's you. That's you.
Yeah, he's the one that killed his parents. Her parents. Yeah. Well, and
he didn't. But
no.
The meteor shower did.
Yeah. But his presence is like, I'm here and your parents aren't. So definitely wouldn't work because she's Lana and is stupid and would let that get in the way of having a relationship because they'd write that. Anyway, the part that's annoying is the fact that he has like this realization that leads you to believe that he's like moving away from her. And it is definitely possible because they don't even run in the same freaking circles. Like Clark's people is Chloe and Pete, and Lana doesn't have people because she's always by herself at the
You're right.
coffee shop.
She's the most popular girl in school and she doesn't have friends.
who says that? Who says that she's the most popular person in school? Because she's not.
They reference it. Yeah,
Just
she's
because all the guys want her, which why? She's annoying as ever, and she's not that pretty. Not that that's the only reason, but anyway.
I think she's pretty.
No, she is pretty, but she's not like everybody wants to get with her pretty. Like Chloe's pretty, and it's
everybody in the
what's my
show is
point?
pretty.
Yes. My point is that in the second episode, Clark does not like the look she gave him. And it's that person that he was as a part of him. And there's parts of him that she will not like. And so he is realizing that and is moving on from it. But then they just write him in to keep having them like each other. It's like, why did you have him say that big speech? It's like, you could have worded it differently. Like, oh, hey, so you looked at me like I was the most disgusting thing in the world. And that made me feel really bad. And then just have like that conversation. But the fact that he's like, I don't want to see that look on your face again, or however he said it more eloquently. And I probably should have written it down. But just the way and the things that he said led you to believe that
he said the line, "This will never work."
Yeah. So why are you still?
Why doesn't he listen to himself?
Well, that's the thing. It's like when you have the realization that you see that part of someone that cannot accept you, that is a huge sign that it's like, hey, this isn't. And that whole BS about you can't help who you love, granted, but the more he learns about Lana, the more he is realizing that, yeah, it's not going to work, but they still have him pine, and it makes no sense. It's what am I trying to say? It's like not counterproductive. It's counter to what?
Counterintuitive.
Yes, it's counterintuitive. It's like, it's just aggravating where it's like they write something so eloquent and so well put, and then they're like, throw it out the window. We're just going to go back.
It's the next episode. It doesn't matter what happened last time.
Yeah, it's so annoying. It's like, why can't we progress from this? Like, I love it when they have characters, where you have good writers that create a character and they are progressing throughout the story. But in this, they're progressing and then they take like 5 steps back. Yeah, and it's so aggravating. It's like at
the same time, yes, it's aggravating, but that's real life too. Like,
is it though? Is it the fact that you realize something about someone and you're like, oh, okay, you can still love them, I get it, but it changes it. Like,
yes,
it changes how you interact with that person.
Yes.
Yeah. But that's not how they wrote it. That's not how they behave. They're going back to episode 1, season 1, where it's like Clark is pining over Lana. And granted, Lana, there's nobody in Clark's way. So Lana, is also pining over Clark, but Clark won't let her in. So she's like, oh, I'm just going to hold back. Let me tell you, the next episode, which we could probably move on to because I keep beating a dead horse, where he dreams about her and how aggressive she is and like towards him, like not that I'm going to wait until you say something to me. It's just so annoying. It's like the person that she is in his dreams is what Clark needs.
Yes. But okay, so you got to remember that these are teenagers, and maybe that's why they wrote it like this, because teenagers can't stick the course on some things, especially relationships. They're all over the place.
Well, then stop having Clark do these stupid speeches about laying off, and then the next episode he's like, oh, but I love you. It's annoying. It's annoying. Especially when you watch it back to back. It's like, you could have just
did you ever have friends that broke up and got back together and broke up and got back together?
It's annoying.
It is, but it happens.
It does. I don't know if I have actually had friends like that. Maybe that's why it's super annoying. Like that much more annoying because I didn't. Did I? I can't even remember. I broke up and got back together with someone, but the second time it was like pretty much, yeah, this isn't gonna work. I wanted it to. Remember Ryan?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. First love. Broke up, wanted it to work, got back together, wasn't gonna work. So that was it. But yeah, I was probably the person that was the most annoying talking about my life all the time, probably before I got married.
I didn't think so.
Well, that's good because I look back and like, oh my gosh. Well, and one of my ex brother-in-laws, my sister Chalet had come to visit me when I was working at Fish Lake.
Uh-huh.
And at some point he made a comment about how I was complaining too much or something. I can't remember. I was like having a really hard time. Anyway, I can't remember the comment he made, but it was something to effect of like, I don't know. It didn't make me feel great. It was kind of like my thoughts and feelings weren't important.
Yeah.
So like I was complaining too much, and I'm like, I didn't think I was that much of a complainer. So anyway, but I probably did, but I was in my 20s.
He was
pretty selfish.
He was insensitive and a punk. So
yeah, yeah, that is true. But yeah, it just it gets annoying. Probably gets annoying that I keep repeating how annoying Alana is. So there you go. There are repetitive things in life, so I guess I should allow a pass.
Okay, episode 4. Let's get into it because we talked about it a little bit. I called this one Rapid Eye Movement.
Ooh, slumber.
You'll
could have been Sleeping Beauty.
So did you notice the band that they had through all the music in this episode?
I didn't. I had to. Okay, the Xbox. Okay,
it was 5 songs, Kindy.
The Xbox,
all from the same band.
The Xbox was playing the stupid episode super quietly. So normally our volume on our TV is like the highest it'll go is like 14, and that is loud. We have a boom box thing on our a bar, and it like amplifies. So like you don't have to go that high for it to be loud. I had it on 26. So in normal TV, that's probably like 80 or 50. It was so freaking quiet. And even then it was still quiet. So the music was the last thing that I noticed. Oh, we've got a boy coming in to say goodnight. Oh, it is way past your bedtime. What are you doing up still? Oh, Daddy. Daddy's slacking, he said. Can you say hi to everybody?
Hi.
You say hi to Emmeline the elder.
Hi.
Hi, Anders.
Are you loving gymnastics?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite part?
Bars.
Bars.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah. She said, "Ooh, cool." Okay. Mwah. Love you. Bye. Kind of forgot to tell Matt that he was going to be putting the kid to bed. So his bedtime is at 8 and it's 9 o'clock. So whoopsies. But
all right. Well, the 5 songs by the band that was the band that played was REM.
That's right. I vaguely remember hearing the what was the rapid eye movement. That's what they're
you made the connection.
Yeah. I love that band. Because I remember hearing one of those songs. I can't remember which one though, but like you know how you faintly hear it, but it like sticks in your brain. You're like, oh yeah.
Because you know that song.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one's all about dreaming. Mm-hmm. And so that they used REM as the band that they played all the music from. Oh, it was clever. I loved it.
Clark dreams that he is being pursued by a frightened girl who needs his help. However, after he discovered she is actually the apparition of a comatose neighbor who should have woken up years ago, he enlists Lana's help, for the first time ever, to uncover the truth, which puts Lana in danger. Meanwhile, Lionel demands that Lex undergo a full psychological evaluation before Lex can return to Luthor Corps. Dun, dun, dun. I want to know how long it took. It's been a long time since you've seen this. Do you remember when you first saw it, how long it took you to realize something was up?
Oh, in that first whole thing, I didn't. I was like, "What is going on?"
Yeah, because Lana
when
doesn't behave normally.
No, they're skinny dipping together. Clark and Lana are, and then this girl shows up, and she gets pulled into the ground, and you're like, "Huh?" But this is Smallville. That's weird. But then he goes home, and his parents give him a brand new truck, and you're like, "Whoa, that's amazing! Wow." I guess having the farm, they have a little bit extra money. Like now that they own the farm, they have extra money. So, okay. And then Chloe tore down the wall of weird. And you're like, okay,
Yeah, that was weird.
That was good for her. But it did happen after the episode Freak, or whatever they called it. It happened after the previous Extinction episode. And so you're like, okay, she was feeling bad because the kid who got the list of people to shoot, to kill, was Chloe's list. So you're like, okay, that she retired her wall of weird, that makes sense. She's feeling guilty about providing a psycho with a list. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not on purpose. He stole it from her, but yeah. Okay. And then Lex goes to give Clark a sword. And he's like, this is a special sword. It's Japanese, blah, blah, blah. And he goes into, a soliloquy. And then he goes to, like, cut him with it. And you're like, oh, no. Lex figured out that Clark was lying to him. And then he's like, I'm going to ensure everyone knows who you really are. And you're like, oh. And you're like, this is crazy. This episode. Like, I believed the whole thing. That it was
you
all,
did?
I was like, this is crazy stuff. But I believed that it was really happening. And then he wakes up, and he'd been asleep for 36 hours. And you're like, oh, so none of that was true. How long did it take you?
Not very long. I knew something was up because they go skinny dipping, and Lana is acting not Lana-like. Mm-hmm. And then when he goes to the girl in the forest, he's not wet. And then
that part I was like, oh, they just messed up with the person who's in charge of making sure the stuff,
the line, like it lines up.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, maybe they filmed that first, and they're like, oh, we aren't going to go back and make them all wet.
And then Pete was acting oddly aggressive.
Okay, so this made me think of like a million questions. Okay.
Okay.
So, do you remember your dreams?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever taken control of your dreams once you realized you're in the dream?
Once.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, what was it? Do you remember it?
I do. I can't remember. I do remember what I did. So, I don't know. Okay, so there was a building. Something intense was happening. Somebody was after us, or I don't even remember. My mom was there, and we were in this gated. It was almost like we were like this impound lot. Mm-hmm. And so there were vehicles, and something crazy was happening. I like vaguely remember it now. It's been so long, but I remember thinking, wait, this is a dream. And I'm not stuck here. We can just fly out of here. So we got in a car and we flew out of the gated area because somebody was after us. I can't remember what it was, but
you flew in a car?
It was so trippy, yeah. And I remember waking up and being like, that was so, like, it was so cool. Never been able to do it before or after that, but because I remember hearing people talk about how they could take control of their dreams because they realized they were dreaming. I was like, that is so trippy. How and why would you do that? And then I did it once, and it was really cool. And then that was it. never did it again, and have the weirdest dreams ever. So yeah. Do you have logical dreams? Like, do they happen logically, or do you remember your dreams?
Yes.
Do
I
they
remember all
happen
my
logically?
dreams.
Like, are
Sometimes.
they
Sometimes they do. Sometimes they're just like crazy.
Yeah.
So the one I remember taking control of, and I have a lot of them, but this is the one I'm going to
you
share.
do? You're one of those people that can.
I'm one of those people that can. I guess I sleep light enough or deep enough or whatever it is that you can control. But I was in, in DuckTales, how Uncle Scrooge has like this giant building that's just full of gold.
Yeah, that he dives into.
Like, first of all, death, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to dive into coins.
Yeah. Unless there's water. Water and coins.
I was in a room like that, full of coins. Okay?
Okay.
And I was like, wait a second. This is a dream. And so I grabbed a bag and I started throwing money. So I wasn't like
you didn't want to swim in
it. Realization.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm going to keep all this money for real life. Like for me, I was like, since I'm controlling it, I'll be able to take this with me. I don't know what the logic was there. It wasn't logical. But I was like, I'm going to wake up and have a bag full of money or whatever my thought was. Yeah. And so, but then I woke up and I was like, oh, it didn't work.
That's hilarious.
That's the one I wanted to share.
That is awesome.
How long was your longest sleep? Did you ever sleep for 36 hours?
No. Probably when I'm sick, I sleep the longest. Probably 10 hours. 9 or 10 hours. It's probably the longest I've slept. How about you?
Well, I had mono.
Yeah.
And when you get mononucleosis, you just sleep. So I got mono on my mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So they sent me home. And then I went home and I slept for a total of like 28 hours straight.
Holy
I woke up, I went to the bathroom, I went back down and laid back and slept again for,
Was your mom worried about you?
She's like, I kept coming in and checking if you were breathing. But yeah, I got real sick.
Gosh.
But yeah, I slept it was over a day.
Oh my gosh.
I was just asleep.
Yeah, definitely needed it then.
Yeah. And then I woke up, I peed, I drank, and I went back to sleep. So
your body's like,
crazy.
We don't need food, we just need water and sleep and potty breaks.
Yep. So
that's awesome.
So this episode, there were a couple things I wanted to point out. One thing was you get a shot of Lionel at Luther Corp, and he is eating a peach. And I just wanted peaches.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was an apple.
It was a peach.
Oh, it's not peach season, is it? Are you feeling the loss?
I'm eating peachy rings right now.
Is that what it is? I thought it was Sour Patch Kids.
No, peachy rings.
Peachy rings. What brand?
It's a brand that I've only found here. They're called How, Howe. Howie? How? I don't know.
Is it a good?
They're yummy.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh,
seems like it's hard.
It is. Some of them are too gummy or weird texture. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I found a good one. So, I really liked the effect of the shot of the traveler out on the water.
Oh, did you?
Because it's like this creepy cloaked
the whole
red.
scene.
Oh, yeah.
It was good.
Red cloaked figure out on the water, and there's all this like fog and mist, and it's like floating on the water toward the girl, and it's creepy, and I was like, ooh, that was so good. I love practical effects like that. Like, I love them.
Yeah.
think
I
they're
just
great.
saw the outdatedness of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was like, this is so good. They did do a weird like zoom in thing that was weird.
Yeah.
But the scene itself was really well done.
Yeah. Before they did the zoom in, it was good. And then they zoomed
Yes.
in. You're like, what? That was a bad choice.
Yep. Is there anything you wanted to point out from this? I liked that like Lana and Clark teamed up. I thought that was kind of fun.
Yeah, that was a great change. I love that too, just because it's mostly him going to Chloe, and so I really appreciated it. It's almost as if Chloe was the dream version, like he went to Chloe in the dream, but then Lana was the one that was helping him in real life. And so I did like that a lot. So it was very refreshing, and it kind of I don't know, they wrote Lana better. I feel like all these episodes they wrote her better. She wasn't like this, I don't know, it's not like she's naive, it's not that she's this mousy person, it's not, I don't know what it is, but I don't know. It's almost like she's more taking charge of her life instead of just letting it happen. That's what it is. It's the fact that she's taking charge of her life instead of just letting things happen to her like she's done in the past 2 seasons. And that's I think what I don't like about her character is that she's a passive person and not an active person in her own dang life.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's all I got.
Same.
Okay. All right, our tally board.
Tally.
Title said in the episode that happened twice. Mom was said 6 times. Bad guy opera, we got one of those.
Woohoo!
Lionel eating a peach, listening to opera. First name, last name, 28 times.
There was a lot, especially when Sarah came into the picture. I remember they sang
Sarah McGregor.
Connors. Oh.
McGregor?
Connors.
Oh, I don't remember what her last name was.
Clearly it was so important.
But they did use it. Mitchell?
No. Connors? I said that already. I don't know.
Yeah. We don't know what it was.
We don't.
I watched it a month ago. It wasn't important. So Kindy probably has it better than me, Connors.
I don't know.
And then a reverse Bechtel where it's 2 boys only talk about a girl in the conversation. We had 3 passes.
So last episode, I think you counted one that didn't count because it was a girl and a guy talking about.
No, that's what I fixed it because I said it wrong. It was like Chloe and Clark. I mean, it was Clark and Lex or whatever. Anyway.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay.
I did fix it. I just said the wrong name because I just wrote C and L and I just said Chloe and Lex or Chloe and Lana. And then I was like, wait a second, it's supposed to be 2 boys. So that meant Clark and Lex. Anyway. So yeah, we had 3 pass this time. 3 episodes of the 4. At reverse Bechtel. Okay.
Nice.
And then my favorite Superman reference or quote or thing is in the very first episode. Clark goes into a phone booth to change. But he changed from Cal to Clark by taking off the red kryptonite ring. He morphed back into his sweeter, more kind self instead of the
Yeah.
aggressive, carefree, awful version of himself. But
Yeah.
he went into a phone booth to change, and I thought that was fun.
That was. I don't remember the scar. Yeah. I don't
Yeah, it
remember him
happens-
getting that. Was that in the very last episode of
The
season
very
2?
last episode, of last season.
Does it get him before it explodes? Is that when it happens? The ship?
So it gets, so when he didn't do what he was supposed to with,
By going on the ship
by
and go
going,
back
yeah.
to a planet that doesn't exist?
No, not go back. He was supposed to go talk to Jarrell because he's supposed to take over the planet or whatever the ship said he needed to
He's
do.
supposed to go somewhere.
He'd be the controller of. He was supposed to go to the cave to talk with Jarrell and learn how he's supposed to take over the world,
Yeah. Okay.
to live his true destiny.
I don't want it.
And he was like, when he didn't do it, that's when he got the scar. So, anyway, what's your eye roll moment?
There were so many. But I would say there I didn't really have like an eye roll moment, but I had a moment where it was like it was too dorky or cheesy that it was just ugh. It was yeah. So the one I'm gonna pick is when Clark and Jonathan are doing their standoff. So it's the second episode where so it's after they fall out of the Luther Court building, and Clark kicks or punches, I can't remember, Jonathan into a pile of stuff, and it gets all steamy and whatever. And then Clark stands up and he's waiting for him to come out. And so he's all looking all big, bad, and tough and stare downy. And then Jonathan comes out of the mist and staring at him, looking all tough and starey. And I just thought it was so funny how they're both trying to look tough. And these people are like kind, sweethearted, and it wasn't cutting it. And then they go fight. So I thought that was pretty awesomely failed moment of I'm gonna look tough, and it just didn't.
All right, our next episode, yep, you've guessed it. We're going to watch Smallville Season 3. We're going to do episodes 5 through 8. We'll love to hear from you. We post a question on our Facebook page along with pictures from the episode if you want to check those out or follow us on Facebook. That would be awesome. You can reach out to us there or our email. And there are links to both of those on our website, and they are also listed in the show notes.
Help us grow by telling others about us. Share something you learned with them, like how Emmeline thrives with intense amount of things to do and is better with deadlines, better at accountability when she has deadlines that other people put on her instead of her own, which I do all the time. So good job. You can also subscribe to our podcast or become a supporter of our show on our website. Every little bit helps, and we'd like to thank Red Productions for the music and Jonica for the logo, and to our listeners. You know, it's always fun to talk to Emmeline, but if you enjoy it, that's great, and we appreciate you.
Toodle pip.
Okay, so I don't have anything funny, but I do have something about Emmeline the Younger, and my whole DVD debacle was because of her. So I was watching the first 2 episodes of Smallville last night, and then I was going to finish the other 2 this morning and totally forgot, and started to watch them like halfway through the day. So I pulled it out and I had it on a low surface. I'm trying to get to the point. Okay, I'm trying to get Emmeline to the point where she doesn't touch everything that's at her eye level. I'm failing miserably, but the goal is still there. So, so I put it down on my end table, and that is definitely below her eye level. So she can definitely touch it. And I tell her not to touch it. And the freaking DVD is in the DVD player. So there's like, no, okay, it was open. But I'm like, okay, she won't notice this, hopefully. But she did. And so the next thing I know, she's in the kitchen playing with the DVD. I'm like, oh crap. And so I take it from her. I'm like, no, don't touch this. So I clean it off and I go and I put it somewhere stupid because she gets it again. I think that I would learn. She is at the stage where she gets into everything, she touches everything, and it's not like she wasn't doing this before, but it's like at a whole other level. I don't know what it is.
It's a higher level because she's taller.
Maybe that's what it is. She can like touch everything that we've like put high up, but not enough that now we need to put it higher.
It's a whole other level.
Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, literally and figuratively. And she's driving all of us crazy. But anyway, you'd think I'd learn, but no. So I had to watch the last 2 episodes twice because it was getting glitchy on my computer. So I put it in the Xbox and it was still a little glitchy, but not that bad because I didn't know that Jonathan was starting to show signs of aging anyway. So Emmeline, the younger, is starting to get, I don't know,
Into more stuff.
She actually is becoming more and more of a little, there's something I'd call her and my mind's blanking on what it is. It's Munchkin. It's not Munchkin, I don't think. It's Menace. Yes. Like she's actually
That's my
menace
favorite
now.
Word.
I know, I got it from you. Every time I tell her she's a menace, I think of you. Because I'd hear you say it a lot. But
yeah.